Hello, Trevor. Hello, Stephanie. You said you wanted to talk about the course I am taking on literature for children. That's right. I'm thinking of doing it next year, but I'd like to find out more about it first. Okay, well, as you probably know, it's a 1 year course. It's divided into 6 modules, and you have to take all of them. One of the most interesting ones for me at least, was about the purpose of children's literature. You mean whether it should just entertain children or it should be educational as well? Right. And whether the teaching should be factual, giving them information about the world, or ethical teaching, or, or ethical teaching them values. What's fascinating is that the writer isn't necessarily conscious of the message they are conveying. For instance, a story might show a child who has a problem as a result of not doing what an adult has told them to do, implying that children should always obey adults. I see what you mean. And that material made me realize how important stories are, and they can have a significant effect on children as they grow up. Actually, it inspired me to have a go at it myself just for my own interest. I know I can't compete with the really popular stories like the Harry Potter books, and they are very good, and even young kids like me, 7-year-old old niece, love reading them. Hmm. I'm very interested in illustrations and stories. Is that covered in the course? Yes, and there is a module on pictures and how they are sometimes central to the story. That's good. I remember some interesting ones. I saw as a child, and I can still see them vividly in my mind years later. Pictures can be so powerful, just as powerful as words. I have always enjoyed drawing, so that's the field I want to go into when I finish the course. I bet that material will be really helpful. I'm sure it will. We also studied comics in the module, but I'm not convinced of their value not compared with books. One of the great things about words in that is that you see your imagination, but with the comic you don't have to. But the children are so used to visual input on TV, video games, and so on. And there are plenty of kids who wouldn't even try to read a book. So I think comics can serve a really useful purpose. You mean it's better to read a comic than not to read at all? Yes, I suppose you are right. I just think it is sad when children don't read books. What about books for girls and books for boys? Does the course go into that? Yes, there is a module on it for years. Lots of stories in English. At least assumed that the boys went out and did adventurous things, and girls stayed at home and played with dolls. I was amazed how many books were targeted at just one sex or the other. Of course, this reflects society as it is when the books are written. That's true. So it sounds as though you think it's a good course. Definitely. Have you been reading lots of children's stories to help you decide whether to take the course? Yeah, I've gone as far back as the 17th century, though I know there were earlier children's stories. So does that mean you've read uh, Perrault's fairy tales, Cinderella, The Sleeping Beauty, and so on? Yes, they must be important because those stories of that type had been written before, and these were the first. And then there is Swiss Family Robinson. I haven't read that. The English name makes it sound as though Robinson is the family's name, but a more accurate translation would be the Swiss Robinson, because it's about the Swiss family who are shipwrecked like Robinson Crusoe in the novel of a century earlier. Well, I don't do that. Have you read Hoffman's The Nutcracker and the Mouse King? Wasn't that the basis for Tchaikovsky's ballad The Nutcracker? That's right. It has some quite bizarre elements. I hope that you've read Oscar Wilde's The Happy Prince. It's a my favorite children's story of all time. Mine too, and it is so surprising because Wilde is best known for his plays, and most of them are very witty, but The Happy Prince is really moving. I struggled with Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, and three long books, and I gave up after one. It's extremely popular though. Yeah, but whereas something like The Happy Prince just carried me along with it, The Lord of the Rings took more effort than I was prepared to give it. I didn't find that. I love it. Another one I've read is War Horse. Oh yes, it's about the Fourth World War, isn't it? Hardly what you'd expect for a children's story. Exactly, but it's been very successful. Have you read any? Section 3, questions 21 to 26. Write one word and or number for each answer. Background on school marching band. It consists of around 50 students. Questions 21 to 25. Choose the correct letter A, B, or C. What does the reviewer find interesting about the purpose of children's literature? The fact that authors may not realize what values they are teaching. Trevor says the material about the purpose of children's literature made him decide to start writing some children's stories. Stephanie is interested in the pictures module because she intends to become an illustrator. Trevor and Stephanie agree that comics have the potential for being useful. With regard to books aimed at only boys or only girls, Trevor was surprised how few books were aimed at both girls and boys. Questions 26 to 30. What comment is made about each of these stories? Choose 5 answers from the box and write the correct letter. 8G. Next to questions 26 to 30. Stories. Birolf's fairy tales. Starting a new genre. The Swiss Family Robinson. Original title refers to another book. E. The Nutcracker and the Mouse King inspires a work in a different area of art. C. The Lord of the Rings. Unlikely topic. G. Warehouse. Hard to read. B.